Hi and welcome to Patch Watch, a new YouTube channel showcasing the wildlife on my local patch of land. As you can probably hear in the background, my patch lies on the very edge of town and it doesn't look like it's that good for wildlife. I started visiting my patch in 2010 and since then I have found some amazing wildlife and seen some amazing wildlife behaviour. So if you want to keep up to date with the latest news, please press subscribe and don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoy this video. Thank you. 2018 has been what can only be described as wet and windy. Temperatures have been below average and the arrival of the beast from the east at the end of February and the mini beast in March sent temperatures plummeting and has delayed the start of spring. Even this coltsfoot has flowered 2 weeks later than normal. Normally found in full bloom by mid-March, it was delayed until the start of April. Also a few weeks later than normal, this willow catkin has flowered just in time for this mining bee to collect its pollen. This particular species of mining bee emerges in early April and is able to tolerate the colder temperatures at this time of year. They are called mining bees because the females will excavate an underground nesting chamber. This one has returned with a particularly full pollen load and has a little tidy up outside before finally entering the hole she prepared earlier. She will then lay all her eggs and leave a deposit of pollen of each one for the developing larvae once it hatches. The delayed spring has also affected the frogs and toads on the local pond. Whilst they started spawning at the usual time in March, things were delayed when they were hit by the mini beast, and all attempts were abandoned until the start of April, when spawning began again. Spring finally kicked off in spectacular fashion from mid-month when we underwent the warmest April temperatures for 70 years. Hedgerows sprang into life almost overnight and were covered by the snow-like blossom of the blackthorn, and many of our summer migrants were singing from all corners of the patch. Many of our butterflies are now on the wing, although the persistent winds are causing many, like the screen vein white, to seek shelter in the long grass of the marsh. Over in the wood, wild garlic is spreading a sea of white through the trees. This is the only spot in the wood it flowers and is an event that's looked forward to each year as the sign of spring has definitely begun. The flowers are maple to make maximum use of the light before being shaded out by the developing leaves of the trees. It has a pungent garlic smell which can be detected from quite some distance away, so if you aren't sure where to find it, all you need to do is follow your nose. Wild garlic is made up of 6 to 20 delicate star-shaped white flowers that are much loved by insects. This small fly is resting after gorging itself on the nectar, and this larger fly is using the broad green leaves as a launch pad. If you walk further into the woods there is a sandy track, and if you look carefully along the edge at this time of year you'll see the nesting holes of the sandpit mining bee. This is the only place you can find them on the patch as they prefer the loose sand that's created by the many walkers that pass by. If you look carefully as you walk along you might notice the male bees scuttling around on the track. I have absolutely no idea what they're doing, but they are quite entertaining to watch. This one can't seem to make up its mind what it wants to do. It scurries about, starts to fly, and even starts to dig a hole before giving up each time. and this one seems to be on a mission to prove it is the world's strongest bee. Close by, the broad-bordered bee flies have finally emerged. They are very common, but very often are overlooked. They are strange-looking things with a large proboscis sticking at the front, but they don't actually belong to the bee family at all. They are members of the true flies. They are a parasitic fly, and the females are often found hovering in the air and flicking their eggs in a haphazard fashion towards a ground-nesting bee nest in the hope that some of the eggs make a direct hit. I spent around 2 hours watching the bee flies before I suddenly realised that some of the bracken was shinier than the rest. I had a closer look and to my surprise I found not one but 2 slow worms lurking in the undergrowth. Another species of fly that seems to be taking a risk so close to the slowworms is this dragonfly. It is a type of hoverfly and is one of the commonest down the patch and can be found all year round. They look almost exactly the same as a honeybee and they use this mimicry to avoid predation. Their larvae are aquatic and there is a pond just behind where this fly was found, which would suggest that it is freshly emerged. And finally, a pair of mute swans have nested on the pond. They've had a checkered history on the patch. 2 years ago they only managed to successfully hatch 1 chick, but last year they nested on the river and raised 4. So it'll be interesting to see how they do this year. Thanks for watching this episode of Patch Watch, and don't forget to press the like button if you enjoyed it. Press subscribe and I will see you next month with the latest news from down the patch.